on DC News Now. Feeling much more like fall out there for that first night of meteorological fall. Of more details, talking about the rest of that 7-day forecast coming up.
An arrest after a Molotov cocktail is left outside a firehouse.
It does pose a threat to everyone, and we are very thankful that the threat has been stopped in this case.
The suspect, investigators say, was seen near the fire station weeks later. The arrest numbers under the crime crackdown in D.C. continue to rise, while local advocates say the front lines of resistance are now outside the courthouse. An exotic bird rescued from an unusual place.
They were so sweet and understanding. They didn't make me feel silly for asking for such a simple task to be done.
The fire crew coming to Chester's rescue. Carnival rides, music and food. The Labor Day celebrations in Greenbelt bring that community together.
Watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan. Susan Tran has a night off. All right, let's take a live look outside towards Reagan National Airport. Look at this. Been a truly incredible Labor Day weekend with so much beautiful weather across the DMV, and not a bad night to fly in to the DC area. Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer here, and Jackie, really just a great night to sleep with the windows open as well.
Yeah, give that AC a break. I mean, likely a lot of people have given it a break the last several days. And we're going to continue to see very nice weather continuing as everyone heads back to work and school tomorrow and Wednesday as well. But those current temperatures, they are cooling off as we speak. We're seeing those 60s, a lot of 60s west of DC right now, but in the district still holding into those lower 70s. But we have those 60s back up towards Frederick. Even Manassas coming in lower 60s right now, and seeing those low to mid 60s up and down the I-81 corridor. Dew points, those are still comfortably into those 50s across much of the area. So really, humidity has been non-existent as well the last several days, and that was through the weekend and now for your Labor Day too. Winds right now mainly out of the east between 5 to 10 mile per hour, sustained winds, so not too bad out there. And satellite radar showing us still tracking the mainly clear conditions, and with those mainly clear skies through the overnight tonight, that will allow those temperatures to continue to drop. Likely tomorrow morning starting off into those low to mid 50s for a good chunk of the region. So if you were chilly out there earlier this morning, then you'll likely need that light jacket out there for your Tuesday morning commute. Then for your Tuesday afternoon, thin veil of cloud cover as winds will be mainly out of the north-northeast, and we'll see high temperatures tomorrow back into those 70s, very similar to the day today. We'll have more details telling about the rest of that work week forecast and the rest of that 7-day coming up.
All right, Jackie, we'll see you then. Meanwhile, Labor Day travel coming to an end as the unofficial end of summer arrives. But tomorrow we can expect longer commute times with kids back in school and with Congress back in session. This is all on top of the increased federal law enforcement presence, bringing roadblocks and causing some major headaches for drivers.
The checkpoints that are in place do create more unfortunate traffic. It's created more traffic on the outside of the Beltway, and where people are trying to avoid coming through the district because they're afraid.
Well, President Trump is praising D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser this evening. He posted on his Truth social media site saying Bowser has become very popular because of how she worked with the president on bringing down crime. We did reach out to the mayor's office. However, they had no comment. Nearly 1,600 arrests have been made in the district since the president started his crime crackdown, that according to the U.S. Attorney General's office. It is a number local advocates say is overwhelming the D.C. court system. According to Harriet's Wild Dreams, which runs a court watch program, daily lockup lists have nearly doubled over the last few weeks, with arraignment court lasting nearly 12 hours and stretching into the early morning hours on some days.
In these last 2 weeks, we've seen an exponential increase, a burst in these lockup lists and people who are held, and most things for very petty things. Last week, arraignment court didn't end till 1 a.m. Court started at 1:30 p.m.
Well, that group is training people to sit, watch, and listen in on court hearings to ensure there are witnesses. Just last week, it trained 500 new volunteers. We have new details in Maryland tonight. A man is arrested for placing Molotov cocktails near a Prince George's County fire station. And investigators say they even caught him on surveillance video. DC News Now's Tim Reed has more on how police tracked down that man.
We are happy to announce that we were able to take the suspect in this case in custody.
Prince George's County firefighters are breathing a sigh of relief now that the man they believe was responsible for placing Molotov cocktails near the Capitol Heights fire station is in jail.
Anytime somebody is doing this in our community, it does pose a threat to everyone, and we are very thankful that the threat has been stopped in this case.
36-year-old Slater Kaye is facing several charges, including felony possession of a destructive device. Firefighters say that on August 13th, he was seen on surveillance video placing the devices near the station. Investigators tell us Kaye was spotted near the firehouse over the weekend.
In this case, on Saturday morning, the on-duty crew here at Station 805 was able to locate a suspect or an individual across the street that matched the description of the suspect we were looking for.
At this time, the suspect's motive remains unclear.
It's still an open, ongoing investigation, and so we are certainly asking for the community's help with that.
The chief says this was a serious threat that could have been worse, and is glad no one was hurt.
Anytime somebody's putting together a device such as this, ignitable liquid or a chemical inside a container, and then put some sort of timing device or wick on top of it, that no good is coming out of that.
In Capitol Heights, Maryland, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
Also happening now in Prince George's County, the search continues for a 19-year-old woman reported missing more than a week ago. Investigators say Dakara Thompson is from Lanham and was last seen August 22nd. Her family found her car and other personal belongings in Hyattsville. And on Sunday, you can see her parents and dozens of supporters held a prayer vigil near where they found her car on Jasmine Terrace. Anyone with information is asked to call Prince George's County Police. In Frederick County, a fire destroyed 2 horse barns at a therapeutic riding center. It happened at the Silverado Stables in Thurmont Sunday. 6 horses in that barn did manage to safely escape.
We had 6,000 bales of hay up in the hay mow, and that went up in like short order. I was taking the last pony out. Flames were coming out of the front of the barn, and it was like 5 minutes after my son yelled, "Call 911."
Well, that owner, Debbie Enlich, says the riding center will overcome this challenge. Still, though, no word on what caused the fire. Northern Virginia firefighters, all new tonight, swooping in to save a woman's beloved pet after hopping behind her dishwasher. Now, we're not talking about any typical furry friend, rather a toucan and a social media star. DC News Now's Ben Dennis joining us live from Arlington. And Ben, you caught up with Chester the toucan and Mom Maria after Arlington first responders heroically came to the rescue.
Exactly. Heroic, especially for Mom Maria. It certainly wasn't a normal call for Arlington firefighters here in Crystal City. However, the bird was the word for them to flock to a nearby apartment and swoop in to save a social media star in a sticky situation.
Perched on his mom's shoulder in the front of a fire engine.
There you go.
Chester the toucan has his neighborhood firefighters to thank after flying to his rescue this weekend. The 8-year-old exotic bird ruffled feathers after disappearing in a series of events Maria Stagliano calls clumsiness.
I was cleaning my apartment and I didn't realize Chester was in the bathroom with me, and he accidentally jumped over me and fell into the toilet. And I freaked out because that was the first time in 4 years of having him he has done that.
And after getting a bath in the kitchen sink,
so he jumped and went onto my floor of my kitchen and tried to hide underneath the cabinets.
Chester discovered a dark hole Stagliano could not get him out of, stuck behind the dishwasher.
He's very active, so for him to just be like frozen in the back, standing there, like just wet and scared, I mean, I couldn't get him out. I tried a raspberry. I tried throwing rubber ducky in for him to play with. He did not want to move.
At her beaking point, Stagliano says she tried to get building maintenance to help, and for some reason they could not immediately jump in. So she called Arlington County firefighters down the road at Station 5.
I think I said, "Hi, I know this is going to sound like a strange call, and I'm not sure if this is the right place to be talking to, but my building won't help me. My toucan is stuck somewhere in a little alcove behind the dishwasher."
4 firefighters came to rescue Chester.
He's like behind it.
Stagliano took to social media, where his 590,000 Instagram followers and 832,000 TikTok fans could witness his ordeal. And as a way of saying thank you to tell his tale,
oh, good.
Chester left his mark on me, and certainly the community.
It's a dark cherry. I'm sorry.
And Mama Maria did have the wet wipes nearby. Good news, because it did end up getting on my shoe. All well and good. Now, I'm told that the crew that rescued Chester from the fire hall was off duty today. They weren't on hand for Maria to thank them. She wants to do that, but also say that she hopes they never have to return for a similar situation. I guess two can be true at once. In Arlington County, Ben Dennis, back to you.
Very good, Ben. We like that. And boy, Chester, you talk about a social media star. You're not kidding.